Welcome to the space of NFT PowerUp. Compete for blue chip NFTs, cash prizes, and more on NFT PowerUp's trivia platform. The space will begin shortly. While you wait, join the back channel discussion on Discord. Join us every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time for commentary on the latest Web3 news and to win big with NFT PowerUp's trivia gaming platform, nftpowerup.io. The space will begin shortly. Please repost the space now to bring in more of our AI and Web3 friends. Welcome to the space of NFT PowerUp. Compete for blue chip NFTs, cash prizes, and more on NFT PowerUp's trivia platform. The space will begin shortly. While you wait, join the back channel discussion on Discord. Join us every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time for commentary on the latest Web3 news and to win big with NFT PowerUp's trivia gaming platform, nftpowerup.io.
Hello, and welcome everybody. How are you today?
Yo, hey man, how's it going? All's good?
I'm good. Shafi, thank you for joining us here today. We have three guys, Sarah, MG.
GM,
everyone.
Hi everyone,
GM.
Thanks for having me.
So what topics do we have together today?
So, as always, first of all, welcome everyone to this space. Super exciting to see all of you here. A lot of familiar faces in the audience. We cannot wait to share everything with you. Ayman, before I start, allow me to tell you this is a sick new PFP. I love it.
Yes. I'm going through my pudgy penguin face.
Yes, beautiful. Congratulations on
I
that.
have a feeling what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip through a couple of PFPs, NFT PFPs, and then go back to my personal picture. That's
Image.
this is where I am mindset wise.
Sounds like a great
Is the NFT PFP hype over? Or is it taking a break?
I had the same discussion today. I was giving a training to a series of entrepreneurs, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we see you online. You're doing a bunch of AI Web3 stuff," and they were asking about that. As a PFP, I still think there's room. I think it's more of an identity / belonging sort of thing. So I still think there's room for that. So the same way, you still have Harley fans, I think it's more than, how old is it? 50, 70, 80 years old? I don't know. So a long time. So, and their badge is the hog itself, the motorcycle itself, and the Sunday rides or so on. But still a lot of people, they don't do the rides, they have the hog and so on. So this is like an electronic version of that to say, I'm a member of this. And it's also an easy way to be a keyboard advocate, right? I don't do any, all I have to do is buy this and place it and say I don't have to do anything else. So I just chat every now here and there and so on, but it doesn't mean there's little effort from me, so I can be part of that group. So I think that type of appeal will stay. The money from it, flipping it, there will be, but not as much as 20. What was it?
21.
21. Thank you. Yeah.
Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
Yes.
Seems like a long time ago.
It's like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes, within 2 years. But yeah, I second what you say.
Shafi, have you felt or heard the phrase of 6 months in real life and is like 2 years in Web3 land?
Yes, I mean, I calculate myself. I'm around 60 years old, if that's correct now. Basically, in Web 3 years, I'm a lot older than But no, I feel that definitely the accelerated technology advancements is something where it moves so fast, this industry.
I went to I thought that 2018, MG, correct me, it's 2021. I was like, oh yeah, it's less than a year and a half. Okay, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we count the years from COVID. Since the COVID lockdown, I think nobody counts the years before that. It starts fresh, like a new calendar from COVID.
Speaking of the COVID years, always, anytime I say, oh, I saw him 2 years ago, that means it's 4 years ago. So always the 2 years of COVID, I completely missed them out. So it's always when I tell you it's 2 years ago, add 2.
100%. I know the feeling.
MG, you were saying something before Shafi and I interrupted.
Yeah. I was about to say that I second what you're saying about the whole PFP situation, because we're seeing a lot of creators on X. They're moving towards.
You're using X easily and smoothly.
Officially saying
I still bounce between Twitter and X.
No, officially saying X. It's recognizable at this point. We're seeing more creators move away from this PFP trend, maybe because the hype of NFTs is a bit down now, and they're voicing their own personal brands. So I think this is one way to build your own audience as a person, as an influencer. So why not do it? And is this the same reason you're moving towards your own PFP, or you're planning to move to your own PFP?
The logic I'm following is 2 things. One is to be easily recognizable in a quick comment or in tweets and posts and so on. You would need to have somewhat of a stable image. So if me changing this every few months, it doesn't mean it's a stable image. You can't easily recognize it.
Yeah.
Second, I like different projects, and I don't want to be misunderstood as portraying full support for one or the other. So for me, for example, Pudgy, I like their business model, how they're able to move an IP project to an actual business, and they're able to have proper licensing, and they've had $10 million of sales in 8 months, so since March to September. Right? So that is a business, and that's not from issuing new NFTs, so it's a proper business there. So that part appeals to me. And by getting that PFP and being part of that community, I can pay a closer attention to how this business is succeeding. So that interests me of how businesses in NFT are succeeding. So I get a front row seat. So that's an aspect there. But I don't want to keep that for 2 years there, right? So it's not me.
No, it's also a very valid point what you mentioned about not being fully dedicated to one project, because we hold NFTs of different projects, and we don't want to misrepresent some projects over the others. We like the NFTs that we hold, even though they're a bit devalued now. But they're part of our identity. We like them, and not representing one is probably a good way to move forward.
So one thing also, MG, on this is, for example, I've been working with Web3 Guy on a one-page infographic that summarizes. It's a one-page infographic that summarizes the business of Pudgy Penguins. And the objective of this is, I don't see enough discussion beyond, they're at Walmart, they're here, it's just bits and pieces of their business here and there. So I wanted to be clear I want to use my business experience to be clear about this is what an IP business would look like, and this is what they work on. And then my thought was, I can see the comment coming in of saying, oh yes, Ayman, you're publishing this because you're holding an NFT like this and you want the floor price to go up and so on. So that also plays in the back of my mind. But I'm still going to publish the infographic then.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you mentioned the business side of it, because it's very overlooked. At the end of the day, I heard you say recently that NFT projects, they are businesses at their core, even though they appear as these collectibles, but they are businesses. A lot of funds move in and out of NFTs, so that's a whole structure to be discussed. So I'm looking forward to see what you've put forward in that respect.
Web3 guy, is it ready from our side? Did we finish it?
Yeah, it is. Still
When
not
are we-
published yet.
When are we planning on publishing it and pushing it?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow then. Okay, MG, tomorrow.
Awesome. I'll be on the listen.
Which means turn your notifications on so you do not miss
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Ayman, I have one more question regarding this topic. What about those that say you only become an influencer or a real content creator on X when you have a blue chip PFP? What do you think about that?
I thought you were going to say you're going to be an influencer on X when you start to make money from the ad revenue, ad revenue sharing. So irrelevant of the PFP, if you make money there, for me, you're an influencer.
Yep.
That means you appear in enough feeds and people engage enough with you for the algorithm to favor you. So that for me is an influencer in a sense.
Yeah, okay. I love that. Thank you, Ayman.
But also I know that because I've gotten the advice of, oh, you guys have a big treasury, use one of your apes as a PFP or so on. So it's a flex, right? So doing that is a flex. They pay attention to you.
Yeah.
CZ once said, and I've heard that before as well. He said once in one of his tweets, he said, it's not about what you say, it's about who says it. So in this case, where if you have a fancy PFP, an expensive one, that means there's something there. Even if we're going to pay closer attention to what you're saying. So there's an aspect there for that.
It makes sense.
I love that. Yeah. So how about we dive into
what's your PFP?
So it's funny you should say that. I was working with a project called Street Bears, which during the whole NFT kind of renaissance period, we had
back in 2021.
back in the day in my youth when I was a young man. But yeah, so we had I got a lot of traction. We never actually launched it. We were building the community, and obviously I'm building a lot of things separately. And I was kind of like it wasn't my project. I was involved in that project. We got a few famous Premier League footballers to adopt that NFT, and like I think Rio Ferdinand even made his Instagram profile a street bear, which is which was the project. So I still have my street bear, and it's a 2-pack street bear. And they found his killer, so I'm sure that's going to have some when it does launch, or if it ever does launch a project. But yeah, I was into that for a while, but I've been busy developing for the last 3-4 years, so it's been very difficult to keep tabs on what's going on in this fast-paced market, and at the same time develop, my own vision and what I see being the future of this kind of technology.
Okay.
Wonderful. Now that our intro is done, I cannot wait for all of us.
Nice.
It was a beautiful one. Yeah, we can. I think we're ready to dive into all the news and gossips that we have for today.
So moving into our next segment.
Are you into crypto, a trivia whiz, or eager to learn while you earn? Visit nftpowerup.io and join the community.
What topics do we have on the list for today?
So kicking off this episode, we've got the SBF trial, and it just started. Ayman, maybe you can shed a little light to us on the selection of what's happening and the updates on the matter.
SBF is the Web3 industry's Amber Heard and Johnny Depp moment, where there's a lot of who said what and why and who was supposed to say what, and plus this has so it's a Web3 focused one, in addition to a bit of the broader business community due to implications towards Shaq, towards Tom Brady, towards others who were involved in the advertising and promoting, whether they're politicians, newspapers, public figures, and so on. So it does affect them as well. Plus, there's a matter of around $10 billion, small matter of $10 billion of that are somewhere as in spent, and they cannot be found. So that's a lot of the interest. So it started 2 days ago, and it's the estimate is around 6 weeks, but we're going to have updates every day based on things. So the first day was about jury selection. The same way, you know how in some TV shows or movies that we've seen, they look at, okay, so Sarah, we ask you, do you know about this thing called crypto? Have you heard about SPF? Did you lose any money in this or so on? And based on your answers, would say, someone would say, you know what, we think Sarah is maybe pro SPF. We'd want to keep her, or no, she's con SPF, against SPF, so we're gonna ask her to go. The same way it happens that we've seen in TV show, depicted in TV shows and movies. So that was mostly the highlight of that first day. The second day now were the opening statements. So both lawyers have shared what their own perspective of this. So one of the sides said that SPF is conniving. He knew exactly what was going on. He intentionally defrauded. We have support. We have supporting evidence, and so on. And the other party said, no, he's a nice guy. He's more on the tech nerdy side. He doesn't know much. Yes, his mistake was he didn't go much into risk management, but he was trying to build a company, and this is a typical case of a company that grew very, very fast and then walked into a perfect storm of the downturn of the of the economy of the Web3 space, and that's why this happened. So that was the angle. For me, the part of bringing up the point of Web3 taking a downturn. I don't buy that a lot, because for me, from a business perspective, relevant of SPF and the exchange, from a business perspective, when the economy is down or when there are circumstances like COVID and so on, it's a business. So COVID was a business reaper. It cleaned up businesses that don't have a valid business model. Mm-hmm. So when the market goes down and there's a crash in currencies or so on, it exposes weak businesses and flawed businesses. Whether there is fraud, even if there's no fraud, they're running it poorly. So they're spending money that they don't have, or more than they need. And in their case, it's unusual because forget about the money of users, the money by users. They've raised a bucket load of money for running their own business. So they have that. And third, they're a financial organization that has money to invest and run and make more money even, right? So there's so the banks that we use, they take our deposits, a percentage of that, and they invest in different global models to generate returns. So there are three strong sources of revenue. And when the market is down, of course, their business doesn't do well, but it doesn't collapse within weeks. So that means there are major holes leading to poor use of it. Has to be poor use of funds, whether it's fraudulent or non-fraudulent. It's just poor use of funds, poorly met, poorly damaged, poorly managed as the whole thing.
Yeah, Ayman, I agree with your assessment of poorly managed funds, because my perspective, and a lot of people in the space's perspective, is that this whole SBF situation was kind of the last straw to the pile of bad things that is happening to the market, and then it all crashed based on that, because it had a ripple effect of the whole market. And I think when a company, as you said, goes big that fast, they lose track of how much over leverage they get, especially if they're trading, because they have their Alameda research department where they host a lot of trades. And then this causes a lot of ripple effects in the market. A lot of projects have funds in FTX, and then a lot of maybe SPF is a backer to a lot of projects. So I think this causes the downfall of the market overall. And it's interesting that you compared it to the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation. And I'm interested to see if any mainstream media is going to cover as they did back when Amber Heard and Johnny Depp had the trial, because this is kind of a niche topic. Mostly the people who were in the space and were affected with the whole FTX situation might be the only ones kind of following up. But still, I mean, I think it's pretty interesting. SBF has been portrayed as a villain for the last year and a half. So let's see what this trial can bring out of him.
But I think people are grasping at straws, right? So they're like, oh, SBF, he's wearing a suit and trimmed his hair. And that is news because...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're making news based on out of nothing, maybe just because they want to bring SBF into the light so that he can get more, I don't know if more punishment, if that's the case. But yeah, I mean, maybe because they believe that this whole FTX situation was very personal to them. I know a lot of people lost a lot of funds in this whole situation, and maybe they might never get them back, even though these $10 billion are, you said, have not been found yet. But the first people that are getting paid are the the investors, the big investors, Series A, Series B, Series C.
The lawyers come
Yeah,
first.
also, also, I believe the lawyers have been already paid. So
I think they're billing. I think they're billing $1.5 million a day worth of billing, right? So
that's a whole chunk of change, man. I don't know. Maybe we should look into.
One of the commentators said something that I liked. He said that the winners, if any, and likely the only winners, will be the lawyers, because if they recover some of the money and they win, just it goes to them first, and they've been billing a lot every day. So
the lawyers from either side, the lawyers. Yeah, so it's a win-win for them.
So yes, so in the news, Sarah, is he's wearing a suit and he trimmed his hair a little bit.
Yeah, and additionally to that, they were saying that the judge informed the SBF that he has the right to testify during the trial, irrespective of his lawyer's advice. So, what implications might this have for the trial proceedings? Do you think, Ayman?
I don't know. I'm getting a lot of vibes from movies and TV shows. Put me on the stand, and I want I want my voice to be heard. And then you see the serious lawyer saying no, don't, and it's risk. And in the movie, of course, he or she gets on the stand. It's very emotional, and they win. But I don't think this will be the case now.
Yeah, I love that.
Shafi, are you keeping track of SBF? Do you like his new haircut?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not up to date with. I'm not up to date with his latest haircut or his new suit. I haven't seen it. No,
Shafi,
but I am aware of the whole situation, and I think your assessment was pretty spot on, Eamon. I like the way you broke down the whole explanation of what happened. Now, whether it was mismanaged funds, fraudulent, or whatever, too much traction too quickly, and young, inexperienced hands had too much funds. Sorry, is my reception cutting out? I feel like it is.
No, we're good. We can hear you.
Okay, I have a police car.
Oh, that's from your
for
side.
30 seconds.
Okay, I thought it was you, Sarah.
I saw the host has muted you, and I'm like, what did I do now?
Okay, yeah, I'm back, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're good, Chef.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, your assessment was spot on, Eamon. I think about SBF. Sorry, let me just finish my point on SBF. And I think crypto has been like or should we say Web3 has been a kind of victim of its own success, where too many people made too much money too quickly and ended up kind of making a situation where the slightest downturn, they couldn't sustain it because, like you said, they hadn't built a business on strong business foundations.
Because Shafi, a lot of the vibes I'm getting when the market turned down and projects were being drugged more frequently or they were laying off people and so on. This happened with COVID, right? So there are many businesses. Some I were advising directly myself, or I'm active in the space, so I know the details of them. Many of them didn't last 6 weeks. So 6 weeks and they were out because they were looking for a new round of funding, which did not come. In our case, in Web3 going market, as in our NFTs are valuable or our tokens are valuable, and we're going to sell them and make some money off of them. So when that dried out, 6 weeks. So for them to close within 6 weeks, and some of these businesses were on the cover of entrepreneurship magazines, they were hailed in the media, speaking, the stars at certain events, and then when COVID hit, 6 weeks in, they were done. Right? So that means that they were not running as a profitable business. They were working from raise to raise, which is fine, but at some point you're going to have to turn a profit so that you can at least succeed a little bit. Maybe lay off some of your staff just to maintain that period. The same way that happened in COVID, a lot of people lost their job, but just some of the businesses continued until you're able to until the market turns, until you're able to raise more money, so on. So yeah, that's I think the biggest concern I have personally from from a FTX perspective.
Also, Ayman, do you think that this might reshape the way celebrities will endorse Web3 products or services?
In what way?
So seeing that the involvement we've had, Steph Curry was involved with FTX. We've also had Tom Brady, Larry David, and
I-
they promoted FTX, and that raised eyebrows.
Everything NFT and crypto now, especially on the NFT side, is considered to be a taboo. In a sense where in events they used to talk about NFTs all the time, and now they're like, "Oh yes, we're talking about digital collectibles, right? We're not, don't say the NFT word, right? So it's digital collectibles." Or they'd stand on stage and say, "Oh yes, I've always been bullish on blockchain because NFTs are not on the blockchain. They like there's this old cloud technology that people are using." So I think it's a way of hiding things until now, but I think later, once the market picks up a little bit more and more artists and individuals come up, NFT, the term and the usage will be cool again. But to your point, people, brands, brand ambassadors or faces will be will be pickier, will be more careful because they don't want to get sued themselves and so on. So it's they'll have lawyers who will tell them not to use terms like safe. This is why they got in trouble. I think with this one they said safe and comfortable and trust and terms like this. So they'll have a lawyer, go over their lines and make sure that they have a wishy-washy answer that doesn't get them in trouble, and then they'll make their money and leave. So and they won't get paid so they'll make sure that they get paid in cash, not tokens, not equity, and things like this. So they'll figure out a legal way of doing so when the market picks up again.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Ayman. Couldn't have been said better. Now, Web3 guy, you've got a little news for us as well.
Yes, of course. But before I jump into the news and the rest of the segment, for everyone here, we already pinned next week's space. So I already pinned it on Twitter. Go set your reminder and be here with us. And okay, so as you all know, I also pinned a fair.xyz link, which is go mint your doodle up NFT. So what I want you to do is open that link in your
I heard
browser.
affair.
Yeah, fair.
Yes.
Okay, so open that link, keep it open in your browser, and soon enough you will hear a secret word. As you know, the holders of last week's mint, they've got some pretty good rewards. So just mint your doodle up NFTs and you will be able to claim a lot more next week, the week after, and at the end of the week.
So Web3 guy, this week's structure is a bit different than last week's. Last week they okay. So can you tell us a bit more of what's happening this week? So they have to collect one of them, two of them.
Yeah. So last week they only had to collect one, but we're raising the stakes a bit, making it a bit more challenging and enforcing a challenging environment. So they have to collect 4 throughout the month. They have to be in all our spaces this month, and they will claim a huge reward. So our loyal listeners will not be considered lightly. They will be able to claim huge rewards. So keep that browser open. Yeah, Iman?
So these are participation NFTs?
Kinda, yes. It proves kind of a proof of participation. Maybe that's new, but yeah, it's a proof of participation for the NFT PowerUp team. And of course, they will be rewarded for it. And yeah, word of advice, keep it open. I won't say the secret word now because the upcoming topic is interesting. So stay tuned. We will give you the secret word soon. So, as for the topic that I wanted to discuss is Elon Musk announcing that he wants to start live streaming games on Twitter. And I think we all know that Elon is himself a gamer. He appreciates the games. I think he was exploring this option on Twitch, on Discord. So maybe he saw it on other platforms and wanted to bring it to X, which he aims to make the all-in app, the super app. So we already saw him bring in hiring to X. So now I can check on some profiles that come a small bubble under his handle, like we're hiring, we're hiring. So yeah, why not live streaming too?
This reminds me of when we were kids and our parents keep telling us that, stop playing games, it will rot your brain, focus on your homework, nothing good can come from this, and it's Saturday morning, you should be studying, or, whatever it is. Things are different now. So games and so on, all of this is good. So if it's okay, if Elon is playing, then, it's okay for me to play.
Ayman, I wonder how.
Exactly.
I,
Go ahead,
I
Amir.
wonder how, with all the changes that Elon's making. I mean, I know the guy has vision, but at what point does X become too confusing to work with? Like, you have the hiring, you have the creator rewards, you have the tweets, you have the spaces. Now you have the live streaming. I mean, it's a whole lot. I mean, it's manageable so far. Then you get into the payments. You can maybe send payments back and forth. Are we going to only live on X, or is it going to be too complicated to deal with?
What applications do is they go through this growth and they add features and functions, and that's the point they say, okay, no, this is too much, and they look at their data, they see what functions are used the most, and then they start to pare it down and break it down and make it simpler and so on. All of them did this. If you look at Instagram, you look at Messenger, you look at all sorts of apps that have grown, and they start to clean it up. So gradually, so now it has to grow because the original product had so much, so it was far from the vision that Elon had for X. So they had to. He's removed already circles and the old version of Periscope or so on, and he's adding more and more, and it will be a big app which is rich in features and rich in money.
Yeah, Richard Money
What was
is spot on.
Yeah, and what was really surprising for me is that, Ayman, who would you think would Elon have chosen as a first place to come and test this live stream? If you would want to give now like an idea or a thought of the first person that will be testing this live stream, who do you think it might be?
I think it was a message he was sending of one, this is so important that I'm the one testing it as Elon. I'm running it. I'm doing this. So and also that means I'm going to pay particular attention to it as it improves. So I'm personally putting my weight into this, so that he can attract gamers from Twitch and other platforms as well. So I think that's one message. The second one is he does spend some time showing that he's a male who's interested in games, TV shows, types of movies, science topics, political topics, or so on. So that type of let's say outward male behavior that he exhibits. So I think that's part of that. So otherwise, he would have chosen like one of the popular gamers, but it would have been like. It would have been carefully chosen, the same way they did with Paris Hilton. So they have new products for her. They have a new improvement on Twitter for her. So for those who don't know, they launched. So Twitter launched a new product, and they have a star in a sense for those who know or care about Paris Hilton. So she's gonna have exclusive content and activity on X, where there are products that she will push and promote, and you'll be able to buy them from within X. So that's a new technological product that they're building, and they're going to have Paris Hilton be on it as one of many people. So Paris Hilton is just one example. So Sarah, if they wanted to do this in gaming, they would have done the same. They would have had a special high-profile person who's a gamer, and they would have brought him or her or a series of them to come in and do these streams. And I'm pretty sure in the background they're starting to DM and reach out to those popular Twitch folks and say, come to us. Our revenue share is higher. We'll give you more exposure. Whatever it takes you to come to Twitter X.
And this is why I was surprised. I would have thought that yes, the first person was him testing it, and then the second person I thought it would have been a gamer, and a gamer would come and show his skills while live streaming. But I was really surprised to find out that it will be Paris Hilton shopping live streaming for the first time. The live stream will happen on Twitter. I do know that she has a huge user fan base and she does have her hands and footprints in Web3, but it caught me by surprise.
Is she relevant? How relevant is she in pop culture? Right? I haven't, at least, I haven't thought about Paris Hilton in a long time because she was a star early on, right? And in many, I'm sure she's fine financially. I'm sure she's very big in many circles. What I'm saying is, from a media perspective, she used to rule the offline media perspective. So she was always quoted and commented on with MTV as a music TV at the time, in publications, in gossip columns. So she was a good portion of that. Her and Nicole Richie. But in the TikTok sphere and the newer social media, there are many others. So that's why I'm just curious to see if, Sarah, do you know or care or followed Paris Hilton recently in the last year or two?
Not at all, not even one titty bit. So
I
yeah,
know Shafi's a big Paris Hilton fan.
I've stayed in hotels. I'm not sure. In Paris, I've stayed in the Hilton. That's about it.
That counts. We're good.
I prefer Marriott. I'm only joking. I don't like it.
Did you pay attention to the product that they announced, that X announced, and Paris was was the face of?
The
Did you come
streaming
across that?
the streaming app. So my take on that was he's trying to bring in the whole influencer vibe to Twitter, to X. Sorry, he's trying to bring the whole influencer, because X has always been more informative, more educational, more kind of like more academics in Twitter, and Instagram's been more the Paris Hilton demographic. So I think he's trying to merge that crowd. And I think eventually he wants to try and show that influencers can be getting paid. So once he brings it into a payment system, it's like, okay, well, X, you've got all of these influencers now and all of these streaming content providers, and you can get paid within the app because we're a payment app as well. So he's going to bring like all of the features under one. I see his plan. I see what he's doing. I'm just wondering if there is any laws against a monopoly that has everything in one. I don't know if is that allowed, a super app like that, or are we kind of going down him controlling everything?
I'm trying to think of, does this fall under monopoly or not? Monopoly is when you force them into it. So I don't think you're forced into this. So monopoly is when you're forced. Let's say you're on Apple and you're forced. If you have an iPhone, there are X number of things that you can do, and you can only do them with the app. Or if you're on a Windows computer, you're forced to do this. Here, it's an app on top of an app. So it's an app on top of the Android or Apple Store, or it's an app on top of the browser that you log into. So maybe I don't.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I'm in your spot, and it's not a monopoly because there's other payment service providers, there's other social media platforms. So he's not the only one doing it. Other people can do it. He's just doing it, I guess, the best way. So yeah, it's not a monopoly. But it's interesting his take on what he's doing, to be honest.
And also knowing Elon, so other founders would want to increase the number of users per month and so on. He'd say, "Look, if you take a monopoly, don't use us," right? So I could see him clearly going down that path. It's easy for him.
Agreed.
Ayman, I have a bit of a bone to pick with OpenSea. I don't know if any of you heard of what they announced recently. They announced something called OpenSea Studio. So it's this hub that they created to promote creators, and they are with creators. They want creators to build on OpenSea, so they're making it very easy for these creators to come on OpenSea and launch their collections. There's no coding needed.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. I uploaded a video specifically for you. Should we play it now or later? About OpenSea Studio.
Oh, okay. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Yeah, so that's the studio. So they have this studio here.
So can you describe it for the folks on the
so basically it's an extension to the original OpenSea website. You have this tab called Studio. Then you can create your collection. It's easy as you upload images that you have from your, let's say, desktop. You can choose any images you want as the kind of visual of the NFT. You choose how much the collection is in total. So here he's let's say choosing the collection. He's typing the collection name, how much is the total supply, the description, and then he's gonna follow in with some certain traits, like what traits does each NFT hold. And then it's as easy as that. They press create, and then they have this collection. So they described it as a different model from what they already previously had, as called lazy minting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with lazy minting. So OpenSea had previously launched this thing called lazy minting. So for creators, they can create an NFT, but it's not actually published on the blockchain as a transaction until someone buys it off OpenSea, and then it's an NFT. This is a bit different because this is allowing creators to actually launch their whole smart contracts using OpenSea themselves. So they pay for the contract, and then they have a whole collection where users can then browse and buy and trade and sell and so on. So the bone I have to pick with OpenSea is that they're doing this tool to promote creators. On the other end, they ban royalties on their collections. I don't know where that fits in this whole situation, because you're saying you're with creators, but then you ban royalties on your platform. And this has opted for Yuga Labs to ban OpenSea off their latest collection. So they're launching, Yuga Labs recently launched their recent, it's a strategy game, but it has an NFT collection to back it. It's called Legend of the Mara, very mysterious. And then they banned OpenSea, and they banned Blur, they banned a whole bunch of marketplaces that do not enforce creator royalties from ever trading this collection. It's only available on maybe Y2, X2, if I'm not mistaken, and one other marketplace. So you have on one end OpenSea making this tool for creators, and then you have them on the second end banning royalties. Ayman, how do you think OpenSea did with this move?
I'm trying to figure out what your bone is. So what you're uncomfortable with? Is it the royalties or is it the new tool?
No, I'm saying their stance on creators. They're saying we want to support independent creators. So there's a tool. On the other end, okay, but creators don't get royalties for their art. How does this add up?
For me, they're two separate. Let me tell you why. Because if I'm looking at an artist, and him or if you're looking at him or her who would look at they want to mint, and I've had discussion with artists a lot. They're saying, how can I make money from NFTs, and what, especially with the hype in 2021 before. So for me to tell them how to mint and where to go and they should pay and what to do, it was messy. It's, so my advice to them was always, at the time at least, was look, find an NFT project. They're going to be, they have a good tech team. They're going to be doing the work, but they need the art. So this way you have created and expressed yourself digitally in an NFT format. And you didn't worry about any blockchain deployment and minting and community building and promoting. It's not an ideal recommendation, but knowing the complexity of creating the NFTs for an artist, it's very difficult. But with this, at least from the videos that they saw, is you go there, you select a folder on your computer, and then you upload a few things. I think the traits is where the regular artist will trip on, but it's still fine. It could be simple applications of this to create and mint. And on OpenSea, which is the poster child, at least was for a while, the poster child of finding and buying NFTs. I think that's a strong move towards this. And that reminds me, MG, I was at an event once. It was Polygon or Solana were a sponsor. I think it was Solana. Great guy on the stand. And he's like, look, there's an app in our marketplace. It was a third-party app. He took a picture of him and I, and he published it as an NFT. So it was that quick and simple.
Is it on the Saga phone, Ayman? Or was it before that? Because Solana promoted Saga phone as the easiest way to create your NFT through using the phone itself.
It could be. That was a good year and a half. What I liked about it though was it's something that anybody could use, right? To take a picture and they post it as an NFT. So that's some minting and all of that, and there's a link and you can share that. So that part appealed to me a lot as a simple way of going from a electronic drawn picture on your hard drive / iPad to NFTs. So that when I see that tool, I know there are other tools like this before and so on, but having it also built into OpenSea and everything there, that definitely helps. And that's why for me it's separate than the royalties. Royalties is a big deal. It's something else. What?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that I'm with what OpenSea did on their the Creator Studio. You know, I'm all for it. I'm with enabling non-tech creators to be able to publish their collections. However, I wish that they like slammed the home run with also reinforcing the whole royalties as they did once. But then they were smashed by Blur when Blur removed the royalties, so they had to remove them as well. So I wish they had completed the whole circle just in that respect for the creators.
Now, on the royalties bit, I'm thinking, so neither zero nor whatever percentages were before, somewhere in the middle, because anyway, with the Blur and OpenSea and royalties disappearing, that is forcing other NFT projects or Web3 projects to find revenue models that are not necessarily on NFT. So that's why they look at IP models and merchandising and partnerships and whatever, right? So they're looking at different sources that are in the real world. So not royalties. But also, I still think royalties is an easy way. It's straightforward. It's built into the system as a whole. It's accepted. It could be like the transactions. For example, when you swipe a credit card, Mastercard, Visa, Amex, whatever, they charge a percentage. It's there. It's hidden somewhere, right? But it's there, and there are businesses built around that, and somebody has to pay for it, either the merchant or you. So I think having choice there would help. So the project can choose and who would pay for it also, if you know who would pay and how much they would pay or so on. So I think that choice aspect, I think would definitely help as one of the revenue lines. It will no longer be the only revenue line from from what we're seeing, but I think one of the revenue lines should be enough.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just me that I was taken by this whole concept of royalties when it was first brought up. That you know, artists now, when their art is being sold at auctions, maybe none of their families, none of their descendants get any of the cut, and maybe royalties came in to save that feature on an artistic perspective. But I don't know, maybe if the market decides it's not the way to go, maybe it's not the way to go. But having it as an option, as you said, is definitely something to keep in mind.
Now, for Yuga to say, you know what, we're pulling our NFTs, we're hosting them only on our own platform, our network. They can do this because of the brand. People go there, so they will follow you wherever you go, and they want them. They're in high demand. Of course, small projects can't say, you know what, I'm not going to put it on OpenSea or Blur, right? Where are you going to go? So that type of when you have brand and you own it and you run it, you'll be able to say, you know what, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, OpenSea. If you look at the NFT space as it stands now, Yuga is basically holding maybe 50% of the value of the whole market as we speak, because they have these established collections, well-established holders. If you want to target anyone in the space that has some money in such a bear market, maybe target the BAYC or the CryptoPunks or the mutants that are still active in the space. So yeah, they're definitely first movers, and we're just gonna have to wait and see if users actually drive some traffic towards their platform. So it's just a matter of time.
And with that, let us guess the voice. I'm going to play one of the voice recordings. Let's see if you want to guess the voice. For anybody who's listening who wants to request to speak, or Shafi yourself as well, you're welcome to guess the voice of today.
You know, basically, look, a year ago, Alameda had, I think, something like 10% leverage. You know, it had something like 10 times the assets of the position that it had on. Over the course of the last year, there were a number of market crashes that drove the value of those assets down and the leverage up. I think it was, to my knowledge, still under 2x leverage, you know, as of a month ago. You look at what happened this month, and you know, in a few days, all out, PR assault, which led to a total market collapse in a pretty short period of time, no bid side liquidity. I think more than $10 billion wiped off in the matter of days.
Shafi, would you want to guess?
I can provide
I
some
mean,
hints.
I mean, it's surely SPF, no?
Yes, it is. Thank you,
Yeah.
Shafi, for paying attention with us here today. What gave it away? Was it Alameda or was it the repeated ums?
It was the fact that he.
We can barely hear you,
Shafi.
Shafi. The fact that what? All right, he's
Shafi, are
very
you still
unavailable.
here?
We'll do that a little bit later.
Okay.
But yeah, good job, Shafi, figuring out who it was. Oh, Shafi, have you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, my internet reception was cutting out.
You were in the
Okay.
elevator.
Yep.
Yeah,
We had the door slam.
Yeah,
I am. I am
and there was
home.
like, Shafi, do you
I
want
am
to
home
guess? Like,
now. I am through the door. I have good reception.
Awesome.
I am back in action. Yeah. So SBF, like you can tell he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's what I said in that explanation. It's like
brutal, Shafi. Shafi, what do you think about?
Honesty is always brutal.
What do you think about Ben Armstrong and what's going on with him? And he's planning to sell his Bored Ape NFT and so on. So, how much are you keeping track of that? And do you have any thoughts on Ben Armstrong or what he's doing?
I'm not too aware of this, to be honest, but I am aware that the Bored Apes are kind of, obviously where they are, and I feel like someone needs to do something to try and either revive or bring it back to some sort of positive light. So
they're considering very cheap now. They're very cheap now at $47,000 or so. That's the floor. It's cheap. I think you should get 2 or 3, Shafi.
At $1,000, they were too expensive for me.
So what Ben is doing is he's putting up his Bored Ape for sale. And he got a lot of heat on this because what he did before that was he said that, look, I'm down to $20 in my pocket. I had to borrow money for gas and drama. And he asked people to send money his way, to donate money for him to make ends meet, supposedly. And he raised around $200,000 for people who like his profile and like what he stands for, and they want to help him and support him financially. So they donated money. And then a few weeks in, he's saying, okay, I'm selling my Rolex and I'm also now selling my Bored Ape. And the comments coming in saying, you were supposed to do that when you needed the money, not after you've asked us all to put money to support you. So that's the heat he caught on this. And also, just as a reminder on the background of this, so Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto, the founder of BitBoy Crypto, the face of BitBoy Crypto, had a fallout with the other co-founders and investors that he had, and he's no longer... He's BitBoy Crypto. He's no longer the face of BitBoy Crypto, and he's out of his company. He's been ousted, asked to leave, and there's an ongoing fight between both parties, and they're arguing about. In the public, at least, it's nothing business oriented. What they're arguing is about who said what and who cheated on whose wife and who took whose Lambo, and just a lot of
the
drama.
the usual dialogue at the end of a relationship, any relationship, business, personal, or whatever it may be.
Right on, Shafi, right? So I've always been great with her, but remember back on November 12th, she did this and I did that, and of course, yes. End of any relationship.
I did the dishes, I made breakfast, you make the coffee,
Very true. But I always look at things from a business perspective, Shafi, and one, for a founder to be in a position where he has to leave the company he founded, either he was in a bad position and he signed away the documents, or from the beginning he did not protect himself well in terms of documents and so on, for him to be ousted from his own company. This is one. Second, again, to leave to be kicked out of your company in one day and then the next day, not to have enough money for gas, although you've been flaunting a fancy car, a fancy house, fancy NFTs, and a fancy watch. There's something odd there. Either those are not real. That's one possibility. The second possibility would be those were done using corporate money. So the car, the watch, the NFTs, or whatever, those were bought with corporate money. That means they're not yours. You're saying these are yours, but technically, they're not yours. So when you're no longer part of the company, you can no longer use those company assets. The same way the company might have given me a corporate car, and then when I lose my job, I can't say I'm still driving that fancy car or that house. I have to find somewhere else to live. So that could be that. And third, whenever there are business feuds, even on both sides, he said, she said, sort of stuff that doesn't sit well with me, because it's at the end it's business. There are commitments, there are contracts in place, or so on. And then you'd say, look, yes, personally we're not okay, but there are very specific things I can stand behind. We're not okay because this guy cheated on his wife but didn't tell the others. But then when the other guy cheated on their wife, he went and told the employees, and just some small Kardashian drama like that. So.
Whoa. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of drama happening in the space. I'm not super following up with what Ben has been doing, but I stand with the public on their perspective of, you should have sold your stuff before you're going to ask for money. And to be honest, I really don't like the guy since he started releasing a whole bunch of meme coins left and right. I really, he lost a lot of reputation in my eyes. So yeah, I'm with the public on this one.
For me, MG, about liking or not liking him, he was loud, very loud, and across the space a lot on social media, mentioned by others or so on. And I did, I checked a few of his videos and his profile. It didn't sit well with me personally for what I generally like to look at. I'm not saying anything about him personally, but just about the type of content and the screaming and the it appealed to a lot of people. But then I look at, so many important people in the space are talking about him. He has a large amount of following. It might be me that I checked the wrong, a few wrong videos or posts or so on. So let me follow him anyway. But then with time, I didn't interact much with his content. It didn't show up organically in my feed. And then, and then when I see what's going on and so on, just, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't sit well with me. So I don't know if you saw the live YouTube he did when he tried to break into somebody's house to take the car, and he had the girl with him who he cheated on his wife with. And he was live streaming it on YouTube, and then the police caught him. And he wanted to make sure that the live stream is still on while he was saying who's with him. And so, just if you're a business owner running a business, I don't see all of that. I don't see if you're trying to get your business back, that is not the way.
It's not the way. It's not the way to do it. I saw Ben when I was introduced to crypto. He had his channel. He obviously talked about a lot of coins. So maybe I followed a few videos, but as you said, his content never really stuck around. And then you find out that during a bear market where a lot of liquidity is out, he's draining even more liquidity with these meme coins, sending out posting addresses so people can send funds to the addresses so they can get coins in return, and these coins end up going nowhere, and then he's done. The guy's finished.
All right. Now we're moving to the segment with our guest.
Basically.
So, yes, I'm trying to do some intro music between the sections, Shafi, but it's not working. I'm trying to find a smooth way to do it. There's no smooth way to do it.
No, that was good. I thought SBF was introing me. I liked it.
Yes. Let's hear word from introduce the speaker.
Basically,
yes, Shafi. Yes, go ahead. You're good.
Thank you, SBF. Yeah. So, no, but honestly, I really like the format of your show, and congratulations! My first time coming across it, and I think it's really informative, and I've really enjoyed listening to you guys converse about all of the Web3 stuff, and I feel like I'm up to date now, so it's great.
Great, Shafi. So tell us more about you. What do you do? What was your Web2 life? What's your Web3 life?
Okay, so I'll break it down very briefly without boring you guys. So I was trading in commodities, and I used to work in a boutique brokerage in London trading commodities. I moved to Dubai. I was working on some renewable energy projects, and I began developing an app with my brother. We developed one of the first kind of last mile apps in 2015-16 when that was quite a new kind of wave of apps that were coming through. And we sold it. We exited from that, and then we started looking into developing Web3 projects. I worked very closely with a few blockchains like Velas. We helped broker the deal for Ferrari for them to be the sponsor of the Ferrari Formula One team. Obviously, again, this kind of ties back in because they did that sponsorship for 1 year, and then Ferrari were very scared of having NFTs launched with their IP on it, and then there was a whole legal case that went about that. So yeah, I've been involved in many different aspects with Web3, with NFTs. We have an NFT, how do we say, an NFT platform, but I would say a metaverse platform, motor racing platform called MetaGP. And we have a few different projects between my brother and I, which we started on in the, I'll say 2017, 18 Web3 stuff, and then more the metaverse stuff in 1920, 2020, 21, around that period. So yeah, and then obviously Drex's is my kind of vision, my long-term vision. If Elon Musk's long-term vision was something like X, I would say for about 15 years, I've had this vision of having some sort of bank, which kind of, how do you say, it turns our kind of environmental aspects of life into assets, because there's nothing more important really to us than, you know, the bare essentials is required, which is power, food, water, you know, a roof, shelter, you know, heating, warm water. You know, these basics are what humanity requires most. But yet we're willing to spend millions on pictures of apes and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a disparity in what's happening with the technology and where the world is. And like I said, I've always had this vision of building something which benefits society and benefits the world. And benefits mankind. So it sounds like very big, bold statements, and my experience in Web3 and the understanding of technology like NFTs, non-fungible tokens. So my take on it, on NFTs, is like it's a use case of a technology. This I think you call it PFP NFTs. Did you call it? Yeah. So they're a use case. That's one use case for an NFT. You know. Access key within the metaverse world, or, you know, a key within the Web3 world to unlock certain, you know, processes or certain resources. That's another use case. So I see there's many use cases of this kind of technology, and we've only explored maybe the first level of this use case of this technology. And I believe with Drex's, we're probably, you know, unlocking a second layer or level to the use case of NFTs, and that's where we're turning NFTs into energy assets, which essentially what Drex's does. So Drex's is a layer 1 blockchain. It's EVM compatible. It's, you know, it has it's a modular blockchain. It's not monolithic. It has all of the elements of the latest technology that blockchains has, but we've developed our own consensus mechanism, which we call proof of energy, and that requires you to stake clean energy in order for the blockchain to run. And by offsetting the energy of the network, you are rewarded with clean energy tokens.
All right, there's a lot to unravel here. So let's start with Sorry, it was a bit of an intro because I didn't know where to start with the project. So I started with some background understanding, and basically this is a heavy first date, Shafi. If that's your opening line for the first date, it's heavy. I just have to say.
I don't go on many dates, so excuse me.
So, are you still trading, or are you full time on building in Web3? What's the scenario there?
So, obviously, this blockchain is the main project which I'm focused building at the moment. It's going live. Drex's Energy. It's called Drex's Energy is our Twitter handle, because we wanted the energy aspect of it to be clear. And for it not to be not to be another chain or a Drex's chain or something, for it to have its own clear identity that it's actually.
Is the website live or not yet?
Not yet. No, there's going to be a lot of announcements coming over. Obviously, I would recommend, you know, following our Twitter and our Discord and stuff to be up to date. We're going to have a lot of releases and. Coming in the next few weeks. We have a lot of surprises in store, which we're looking to gradually release to our community. But essentially, it's been maybe a 2.5 year process, and we're coming to launch in the very near future.
All right. So how are you? So this is heavy, right? It's a lot. And are you doing something with COP now in Dubai as well, COP 28?
So there's no announcement yet, but we're working with one major IP who like is interested in potentially doing a launch of an NFT project specifically related to our energy profile on COP28 in Dubai. So this is something in the pipework. So like I said, I'm not at liberty to
Excellent.
release too
No,
much
it's
now
fine.
until
As long as
everything's
you're
there.
able to
But
finish it.
there is stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
it's weeks away.
There's stuff
It's
in the
weeks
pipeline.
away. So as long as you're ready by then, it's only a few weeks away. As long as you're ready by then, that's good. That's good.
Absolutely,
So, so talk more. Is this more for individuals who are looking to individuals, or are these businesses? You're targeting businesses with this?
So the platform works twofold. It enables businesses to transition to net zero swiftly and very efficiently within a few clicks within our platform. It also allows them to speculate before they offset their energy. They can also buy and speculate and trade their energy. And it also provides a retail element for just an average user to download our wallets and our applications and to be able to trade and buy and sell stake and potentially trade with clean energy in a way that hasn't existed till now without this technology.
Okay, I see. And so, how would the company be able to do something there? How would they able to go to reduce the carbon emissions?
So essentially, what we do, we offset specifically the energy consumption of a company. So we have an AI element into us, which basically tracks the energy consumption of the node. And it tracks the efficiency. More important than energy consumption, it tracks the efficiency of the node. At the same time, every node is a KYC approved client, which is required to fulfill certain requirements in order to be onboarded. That means that we are able to verify the authenticity of them being net zero or carbon neutral very easily through our system, through the AI and through some other processes that we have in place.
In a few weeks, once the website is up or so on, what will you be promoting? Will you be promoting for businesses to join you? Will you be promoting is there something for users to buy?
Absolutely, it's for both sides. It's for both sides. We're already in a testing phase with businesses. We have, like I said, there's a lot of announcements to come on the next few weeks, which will announce different companies that are testing our technology. Like I said, we're already final stages of discussion to have a major IP launching when we go live to launch with us. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the pipeline, but essentially we're targeting both companies and individuals, everyone across the board, because the utility of our blockchain is in being able to own clean energy assets, offset clean energy assets, and speculate. Because if you know tomorrow or in the next 5 years, every car in Europe or in the world will be electric, and everyone will need clean electricity, and everyone would need that clean electricity certificate because they may be taxed on it. So it's a speculation of the market may go, 10x in the next 10 years because of the requirement of electricity, because of the use cases of people turning off coal and nuclear and etc. So there's that element of it. So it's a speculation kind of. You can buy it's like buying a Bored Ape and hoping in 10 years it will go up, or you can buy 1 megawatt of solar energy from Abu Dhabi or Dubai or from the UK or from America, and you could hold on to that, and that will definitely go up because energy prices have gone up, and we have data that shows that for many years. And that's one element of it. Then you have the other elements of it where you can benefit from the accessibility to clean energy direct from producers. So we're cutting out middlemen. So the energy producers can directly deal with the energy consumers. So there's like I said, it's very complicated to maybe.
But this is long term. But this is long term, Shafi. This is all of this very, very long term. How are you gonna address the concerns of, because you're going after these large corporations, okay, and they will need this, and it's how they will have two concerns, many, but the two main ones that I can think of now is, one is this technology called blockchain that they're not very familiar with, that you're asking them to share things here and be part of or so on. This is one. Second, they're going to say, but we're a large company with so much carbon emissions. How you haven't done anything? You haven't done enough yet on our scale or so on. So it's the chicken and egg type of thing. So how? What's the plan to address that?
So we've spoken to major corporations that actually they have a need for this specific technology that we've built. And that's what we've understood. They are internally looking at processes, and they're looking at solutions on how to achieve this. Not just companies, governments, are looking at solutions to this. Governments have built systems that have been active for the last 20, 30 years in the free energy markets, or should we say the wholesale energy markets, which is what I used to previously trade in Europe. So this framework that they built really hasn't been able to achieve the results that they want. And I believe the flaws in the system can be fixed with blockchain and the blockchain community and the Web3 community, should I say.
Okay, I see. So what parting words would you want to share with the watchers and listeners? How can they connect with you? What do you want to see next? Are there important dates for them to keep in mind?
Absolutely. So I would say to the listeners, watch the space. Our X handle, I've shared it with you guys. And obviously our launches and stuff, everything, all the announcement will be in our Discord. So I think our Discord will be launching in the next week. And from there, we're just going to be updating our community with all the news, and the best resource would be our Discord, because that's where you'll get first-hand knowledge before anyone else of what's coming, and the announcements and the IP. So we want our community to be empowered with all of the the deals and all of the kind of avenues and should we say business structures that we're building around the project. We want our community to be enriched with that, for them to be fully committed and understand and believe in the vision that we're building. Because I feel like the Web3 world has been filled with a lot of people that have managed to get lucky or get rich quick, and they haven't really thought it through to the end. And I believe if we build something, thinking things through thoroughly to the end, and having the community's voice in that process, I feel like we can really build something that could change with what we've seen in the last few years. It can change the way things work.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak and to be able to share this with you guys, and to take part in your show. It was actually really enjoyable.
Thank you, Shafi. And if you want, when you're closer to launching, once you have the product, and if you want to do something also around COP as well, and so on, you seem like a good guy. We'd love to have you again on the space once you have something a little bit more public that you're more comfortable sharing. So it could be just after you launched, or if you're going to do this thing around COP, we could also mention that during the show as well. So you're welcome to be a guest.
That's a great idea. I will definitely reach out, and we can maybe organize something for during COP. When we make an announcement, we can do something on your show as well. I think that would be lovely.
Yeah, this way you can tell your partner, saying, "Look, I know we're early stage, but we have the technology built. We can do some of the media coverage. We can. So you can be in a stronger position, especially at an early stage. So good luck with that, Shafi.
Thank you so much.
So the last segment we have, which is the trivia winners, right? All right.
Yep.
All right,
So
Guy, what do you have for us?
Okay, so
Go
as
ahead.
usual, last week's trivia was about locating Web3, or Vitalik. So we have 3 winners, and in the third place we have BNU. This is his Twitter handle, so congratulations, BNU. In second place, we have a regular winner. Actually, he won twice.
What's the regular winner? He won twice already? Oh.
Yeah, he won.
Are you sure he's not gaming the system?
No, not at all. We are doing extensive reviews of, as per our terms and conditions, we are reviewing every answer, everything of the platform we're using. So not at all. No one's rigging the system. So it's a fair game. So
let's see. SBF said a lot of things, and we believe them, and we're here today. So we'll see.
Okay, and in second place we have Garnison, so it's his second time he wins the trivia campaign. And lastly, in place number 1, we have Census, which is one of the community members. He's very loyal. Congrats, Census. Okay, and what you have to do is join our upcoming trivia campaign about Mark Cuban. So see you there.
It's pinned?
Yep, of course.
All right, it's pinned. All right, what that means is we're down to the last. We just completed our last part. I want to thank our guest. I want to thank everybody else for coming in today and listening to us here. And we would like to see you again next week. Thank you for joining us.
Join us again next Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We hope you have enjoyed listening and gained valuable insight into the world of AI and Web3. Until then, keep powering up.